Undoubtedly, these terrorist actions of the Zionist regime have always been with the approval and cooperation of the United States. Although senior U.S. officials are trying to absolve themselves of these crimes, in their official statements, public opinion around the world is well aware that regardless of whether the United States is previously informed or not, whatever actions Israel takes, the U.S. will ultimately support it. A few months ago, John Mersheimer, a renowned professor of international relations, mentioned in an interview that the Israeli lobby, Tasam, controls the U.S. Congress and can obtain almost anything they want. The historical experience of the world in the past few decades has shown that there is a green light from the U.S. for all the brutal actions of the Zionists, for example in the case of the assassination of Martyr Haniyeh. Despite the lack of official support for this assassination, the U.S. government quickly deployed several of its ships, such as the Lincoln, to support Israel in the region in response to a potential retaliation from the resistance Axis. There are also numerous reports of the presence of the CENTCOM commander in the region to support the Zionist regime, and of course the financial and military aid from the U.S. government that has come to their aid after every action by the Zionists to sustain their illegitimate existence. The latest example was the $3.5 million military aid from the United States to the Zionist regime in August, following the assassination of Martyr Haniyeh. This means that Israeli officials are fully aware that any actions they take in the region will ultimately receive support from both parties in the U.S. This is the same green light from the U.S. government for Israel's actions. In addition, it should be noted that many of the recent assassinations by the Zionist regime in Lebanon have even been accompanied by a direct green light from the U.S. For example, several senior Hezbollah commanders who were recently assassinated had a bounty of several $1 million set by the Americans years ago for their killing. The latest green light from the United States for the crimes of the Zionist regime was also issued in New York and at the United Nations headquarters, and was immediately implemented.